real quick. Okay. All right. So, so if you guys can give us some topics want to hear Big Al talk on, that would be super, super helpful. I was thinking of doing sponsoring, and what would you say? Like moving from, I guess, the transition, if that makes sense, Big Al. But I think I can speak for everybody here that sponsoring's the hard thing. Hey, Ash, yay. All right. Oh my gosh, we have so many people on. I'm so excited, y'all. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to mute myself and turn it over to the master, because that's who we really want to hear from. Y'all hear me all day.
Okay, well, let's talk about recruiting and take all the pressure off. Here's the short story. When we talk to people about our business, they don't want to know everything we know because they don't have that much time, and what's interesting to us isn't interesting to them, and we don't want to sound sleazy. We don't want to sound like a salesman, but we probably not mind readers either. So short is better than long for any explanation, because if it's short, they're happy. And if we leave something out that they're interested in, they will ask. So don't feel that one more item is going to make any difference. So before you worry too much about closing, let me point out that most of them have made up their minds that they want to join, or else they wouldn't even be talking to you. They wouldn't be investing the time. So if you said, well, I want to talk to you about my business, and when can we talk, for a few minutes on Saturday? And I say, all right, it's Saturday, let's talk. They've already made a decision. Yeah, I'd like to do business with you, as long as it's reasonable, if I don't have to be a criminal or anything. Certainly, I can do this. So here are some magic words you can use to make it easy. First of all, we're going to use some magic words that's going to make them feel good. It's going to make them relax. It's going to make them happy. And it's going to overcome every mean, miserable objection you ever hear. And the words are, here is the short story. And it's like you get out of jail card free. When we say, here is the short story, the back of their mind is frozen. It's like a taser just hit their neck or something. They're out. They can't think of anything for the next 10 seconds, which is all the time we need to take care of what we have to do. So in the next 10 seconds, we can tell them anything. There's no way they can block it. It's going to go right inside their mind, and it's going to shut down every stupid objection you possibly hear. So let's just try this. Let's say that I was going to try to recruit my mean used car salesman, cigar smoking uncle who's just miserable. So I pick up the phone. I call my negative uncle. If it's any more negative than this, then I probably wouldn't even talk to him. But my used car salesman uncle says, "Oh," and I says, "Hello, uncle. It's me, your nephew." "Oh, it's you, pyramid boy. You run over my cat. You're wasting humanity. You're an oxygen thief. What's your deal this time?" Now, I would consider that pretty negative. So I'd say to my uncle, "Uncle, here is the short story." And in that moment, his mind's frozen. He's thinking, oh, wait a minute. It's the short story. It'll be over right away, so I can listen to it. It's going to take me longer than a short story to talk him out of it. And after the story, I have to hear the story. We can't go with unfinished stories in our minds. Stories are the most powerful way to put something inside of people's minds. We are programmed for stories. Our children, as soon as they can talk, say, "Mommy, Daddy, tell me a story." Stories like crack cocaine to the human mind. So I say to the uncle, "So uncle, here's the short story. You're retiring in 3 months. If you start this part-time business, you might be able to double your retirement pension. Thought you should know. The end." That's it. We don't have to answer any of the negativity. We just say, here is the short story. So let's just imagine we're just using it for retail. Somebody says, well, you know, that seems awfully expensive for eyelashes. That's a lot of money. So, hey, here's the short story. It makes your eyelashes look awesome, and it's worth it because you feel great every day. The end. And it's just a fun thing to say. And they say, oh, well, I don't know. If I get that foundation and makeup, you know, and that's going to add up, it's going to be a whole lot of money. Hey, here's the short story. Your face is your best first impression. It's worth it. The end. So we don't have to answer anything that are all the garbage or negativity. So if you write down, here's the short story, it's great words to use anytime we're talking to people. Then you give them the short story. So let's just try a few things. So here's the short story. Christmas is coming up. This business will help you pay for Christmas with cash instead of credit cards. The end. Sure, that was easy. Well, here's the short story. You're on Facebook every day and not getting paid for it. How you can get paid for it? The end. Period.
So, Big Al, can I interrupt for a sec?
What do you think?
Well, here's the short story. But how do you handle objections? Like, what are your tips for handling objections about time or money or anything like that?
Well, here's the short story. The first rule of all objections is we agree with them. If we don't agree, we're dead. We're toast. We have zero chance. So let me demonstrate this. I say, well, I don't know if I even want to listen to it because it's probably a pyramid. You say, no, it isn't a pyramid. You're just stupid. You don't understand this. Well, chances are we have zero chance of success. So the first thing we have to do always is just say, yes, on all objections, agree with them because they have a point of view. We don't know what happened. So let's just use some common objections. How about this one? That's awfully expensive for mascara. So let's use the expensive objection. First thing we're going to do is agree. We're going to say, yes, it is expensive. And they're going to say, in their minds, wow, you agree with me. I don't have to think of any more excuses to support my position. I don't know what I'm going to do with my mind. I might as well just listen to you. Say, hey, that's pretty good. So we're going to say, yeah, yes, it is expensive. And then we say, all right, we got their mind open. We have rapport. They're listening. Let's deliver our message. So, yes, it is expensive. The company wanted to make a cheaper mascara, but they knew it wouldn't work. So they didn't want to rip you off. The end. Or, yes, it is expensive. The company wanted to make a cheaper foundation, but they know it wouldn't look smooth, and they didn't want to rip you off. The end. Yes, the cosmetics are expensive. The company wanted to make a cheaper version, but they didn't want you to look like you graduated from the clown school of makeup, and they didn't want to rip you off. Okay. The end. So, easy. We acknowledge that they have an opinion. We agree with their opinion, and we just point out, hey, the company wanted to make a cheaper version. When we say that, they think, wait a minute, that means this price is justified. If it could be less, the company would charge less, so we don't have to argue about the price. Just the way it is. So agree, and then deliver the message. The other choice is to disagree, and of course, we're going to lose every time. So for objections, let's take a look at a couple one. Well, I don't have any time, or I don't have any money, or I don't have blah, 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 blah. So let's do a little template for the most common objections. Because if we are not afraid of objections, it'll show up on our face. If we are afraid of objections, it will show up on our face. I'll read that and we'll get objections all day long. So there's a little thing called microfacial expressions where people can actually read what you're thinking. And just think about it. An axe murderer shows up at your home. They're not carrying the axe and they don't have the hockey mask, but you can still kind of read it in their face. So let's see. Let's do a objection about money. They say, I don't have any money to get started. Well, the first rule is to agree. So we're going to say, of course you don't have any money. You have to be careful about the tone of voice on this one. But of course you don't have any money. That is why I'm talking to you now. You don't want to be that way for the rest of your life. So let's sit down now and figure out a way to get you started. And in that little phrase, a whole lot of cool things happen. First of all, we agreed with them. Second of all, we told them some facts that they already believe. When you tell people facts they already believe, they say, oh, okay, I agree with you. We have rapport. Let's take it from there. So I'm going to say, of course you don't have any money. And I'm going to tell them a fact. That is why I'm talking to you now. In the back of their mind says, yeah, you are talking to me now. That's a true fact. What you tell me is true. Now, I'm going to continue by telling them a second fact to build the rapport even deeper. I'm going to say, of course, you don't have any money. That's why I'm talking to you now. You don't want to be that way for the rest of your life. And they think, yeah, that's right. I don't want to be that way for the rest of my life. I say, so let's sit down now and figure out a way to get you started. And they're thinking, yeah, we probably should. Or they say, well, I don't have any time. Well, let's use the same template. Of course you don't have any time. That's why I'm talking to you now. You don't want to be that way for the rest of your life with no time to ever see your children again. So let's sit down now and figure out a way to get you started so you have a little bit of time in your life. Like, oh, yeah, uh-huh. So I don't know anybody. Well, of course you don't know anybody. That's why I'm talking to you now. You don't want to be that way the rest of your life with no friends or anything. So let's sit down now and get you started and get you into training so you learn how to talk to people. Objections are only coming from people that are interested but have this going on in their head. They're saying, wait a minute, I'm interested, I want to do it, but please hold my hand. I'm just a little bit scared about making a change because every time I make a change or make a decision, there's a risk it might go bad. So, if you go and hold my hand with me, it'll be pretty good. So objections, not that hard. Agree, just tell them your point of view, and it's done. Now, for the presentations, a lot of you are going to be saying, I don't want to sound like an icky salesman. And I'm not brave like LASHley. LASHley, she'll talk to anybody, but not me, I'm pretty shy. So let me give you 21 words so you can do a presentation anywhere, any place, anytime. Never feel icky, never feel like a salesperson. Be an ultra pro and look like you have so much confidence people just want to follow you anywhere. So let's get started. People say, so you want to tell me about your business, huh? And they fold their arms and they lean back in their chair and they put on this mean face and you go, oh man, this is going to be hard. And you're thinking, well, what am I going to do? Do I show them some PowerPoint slides? What if we're at a restaurant? Do I tell the people at the table next to me to clear off their table so I can set up a projector screen? Or how do I talk to my aunt who's going to be laughing at me and say, oh, I changed your diapers? So here are 21 words to do a perfect presentation every time. First of all, we mentioned that they don't need to know everything we know. And if they don't need to know everything we know, how are we going to know what they want to know? Well, the answer is we're going to ask them. So the first 7 words of our presentation are going to be, what would you like to know first? And that's going to take the entire pressure off them in the presentation. So if they're leaning back, folding their arms, saying, all right, tell me about this pyramid. And you say, well, so what do you like to know first? And all of a sudden, they're completely disarmed. They're thinking, hey, you're not a salesman. You're going to let me talk. Salesmen don't let other people talk. Well, let me tell you what I want to know first. And presto, you have read their mind to find out exactly what's most important to them. And they'll tell us every time. You don't have to guess. So we're going to ask them, what would you like to know first? Those 7 words. And they'll probably answer something like, well, what's the name of the company? We could probably answer that one. Or say, what would you like to know first? Well, is this something I can choose my own hours? Or what would you like to know first? Well, is it makeup natural, international, supernatural? All right. We just answer the question. And they feel good. They feel in charge. And there's no more selling. It's just a conversation. So the first words are, what would you like to know first? And you're going to feel like $1 million. Now, our strategy is to answer that question as short as humanly possible. And then immediately follow with the next 7 words of our presentation, which are going to be, what would you like to know next? So it might go like this. So I'm talking to LASHley. And all right, LASHley, I don't really know you that well. That's a big leap. So tell me about it. What's the deal? And she says, so Big Al, what would you like to know first? All of a sudden, I feel good. I'm not being talked at. I'm not being pressured. I said, well, I like to, is this something men can do? And LASHley's going to go, yeah, a lot of men do it. And she's going to say, hey, what would you like to know next? And I feel, wow, that was pretty nice. And all the sales pressure has gone away. Because our attitude going in is all we do is offer people one more option in their lives. It's just that our option is so awesome, that'd be crazy not to take it. So we just offer them an option. And when we offer people an option, they read that in our face too. And they say, okay, I don't feel pressured. So the next question is, what would you like to know next? And you and I will continue asking this question over and over again until they run out of questions. So let me give you a demonstration of some of the most common questions we're going to run across. So I'm not an expert on your business, but I bet I could probably fake it pretty well. So Ashley says, so, but yeah, what would you like to know next? Well, when did the company start? And she says, a few years ago. It's been growing like gangbusters. So what would you like to know next? Well, it's a good company? Yeah, it's a very good company. People love it. So what do you like to know next? Are the products any good? Yeah. They sell hundreds of millions of dollars of these products every year. Women love them. Men love them. They're awesome. So what do you like to know next? Well, do I have to like deliver the products in little bags to their office or something like that? No. The company will ship it right to their home every time, so you don't have to be involved with any of that because you're pretty busy. You're taking care of the kids at night when you get home from work. Oh, okay. So what do you like to know next? Well, how does the compensation plan work? Oh, well, if you have a lot of people using the products, you're going to make a lot of money. If you have fewer, you're going to make less. Oh.
Now, would that work for green personalities, though?
No, they're going to say the next question. Because they're green, they're going to say, but I needed all the percentages. And I said, you learn that in training, all the percentages. So what would you like to know next? Well, is it a pyramid? No. So what would you like to know next?
With the green personality, though, I know a lot of people who are on right now are actually are leaders, and a lot of us struggle with the green personality. And I mean, you think green's the best color, right?
Well, yeah, it is, obviously.
Because you're green. So I thought I thought maybe you could give us a little more information on closing with a green.
Oh, let's close the rest, because greens are only a small percentage that torture you. And then I'll tell you what to do with the greens.
Okay.
Let me show you now so we don't forget. To a green, you can manage greens very easily by just saying, are you looking for a business so you can start earning money now? Or are you just in the information collecting stage? And we go, money now. And it shuts us up. But if they're in the information collecting stage, it says, I have 121 websites you can visit. And let's schedule time to come back and review them. And that way they're off your back. But greens are incredibly easy to manage if you just get to the point with them. But for the rest, they're just going to have ordinary questions like, well, why is the makeup so expensive? Well, the company wanted to make cheap versions, but they knew it wouldn't look good, and they didn't want to make people look bad. So what do you like to know next?
Can I?
They run out, yeah. Go
So
ahead.
I'm interrupting. I'm sorry, but
But what would you
questions
like to
keep
know?
popping in my head. So what would you like to know? So where do you go from when they say they don't have any more questions?
Well,
but
we're going to get to that.
So like, how do you handle that? How do you?
We're just going to keep asking it till they run out. And when they run out, they're going to say, well, I can't think of anything else. And then we'll say the last 7 words of our presentation.
Oh, okay. Big Al, I'm red. I'm like, all right, come on, let's go. Come on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I'm green, and I'm going to torture you as long as possible.
But I appreciate you so much for doing this for us. Thank you. Seriously, this is amazing.
So the last 7 words are going to be, what would you like to do next? And that's it. And when you say, what would you like to do next?
That's so good.
People are going to do what they're going to do. You might as well find out what it is. Now, they've already made a yes decision earlier, or they wouldn't even be this far in the conversation. So the decision comes first, we know, from the other times I've talked. So all we want to do is find out what we want to do next. And let me give you the possible answers you're going to hear. So we're going to wrap it up by saying, what would you like to do next? And they're going to think, wow, it's not about you. It's not your agenda. It's all about me. You want to help me. A giant huggathon. I love you all. And they're going to tell us what they want to do next. So here's the range of answers you're going to hear. So what do you like to do next? Well, I guess I'd like to get started. Okay, let's get online and get started. Or what do you like to do next? Well, I don't get paid till Friday. Can I start on Friday? Friday's a great day. Okay. Or what would you like to do next? Well, I need to think about it for a while. Great. Till when? Till the holidays. Oh, which holidays? Christmas 2025. Okay, do I call you? You call me. Just let me know, all right? Or what do you like to do next? Well, I'm a full-time loser. I just want to fall on a sword. Would you hold the sword for me? Gladly. All right. Just ask them what they want to do next, and they will tell us. No pressure. It's the greatest close in the world. It honors them, and they say what they want to do next. So we can do our entire business presentation in 21 words. We get to the point by simply saying, here is the short story. Doing presentations are easy. You can save the PowerPoint slides for the greens. You can maybe have a link to 150 websites. You can forward them out of the group or something. But most people can make up their mind right away, because here is the short story. Women use makeup. They love this makeup. They can order it direct. You get paid for being on Facebook. The end. Figure it out. So those are the magic words to make it a whole lot easier. So let me look at some of these questions, because I'm not a multitasker like other people. All right. I can see correct. Restart your phone. That's good. Come back and ask more. How to eventually close them? You can't close agreement if they have questions in their mind. So just keep asking, what would you like to know next? And believe it or not, there's only about 10 or 15 questions they can come up with. And then you're done. You're going to hear the same ones every time. All right, let me see. Ready to respond tonight? All right. So the personality colors very quickly for Elizabeth is, there's a book by world famous author, me, on the personality covers. There's an audio version too. But people are kind of wired 4 different ways. Roughly, there are the red personalities like LASHley, who says, just get to the point. Give me the bottom line so I can get this over with and go out and crush humanity. These are the overachievers. They're not scared of anyone. They'll approach anybody anytime. They want to be in charge. They want to tell other people what to do. That's just the red personality. The yellow personality is almost the opposite. These are the people that are supportive, don't really like to be in front. They're the ones that like to support the group. If there was a meeting, they'd be giving everybody back rubs. The green personalities are the people that drive you crazy with a million questions about how everything has to work. They have to be perfect before we start. And the blue personality are people with short attention spans that just love to have fun. They like the community, like meeting brand new people. They talk and talk and talk. You know you met a blue personality because you said hi, and that's the last word you said. They're visiting and telling you stories, everything that happened to them that day. They're going 100 miles an hour in 100 different directions. Those are the blues. So just using those 4 little personalities, you're going to realize that actually it's pretty much to the point. Like, all right, tell me how this works. Please do it in 2 sentences so I can get on with my life. The green personalities, we want to know every tiny detail. The yellow would probably say, well, please explain it in the way that's most comfortable for you so I can share it with other people. The blue personality is probably not listening, grabbed a beer and was out on a party already, talking to people about a business but can't remember the name of the company. That's just a little bit about the colors. But talking to people, presenting, pretty easy because they've already made up their mind if they want to do business with us way before we got to the part which is what would you like to know first. So let me turn it back over to LASHley if there's some more questions for the group. But while she does that, I'll type a link here in the chat for everyone here who would like to close at a high professional level. There's a report I wrote up that's 2 pages that talks about the trigger questions that goes in people's minds. And we've had a great 20 years in brain science. In the last 20 years, they've kind of cracked it. They can tell us exactly how the people we talk to make up their minds. And this is revolutionary because if we can talk to people in a way where they make up their minds, we got it. So let me put this in here. So there's 5 trigger questions, and I'll tell you what they are very quick. And you can read them about this. It's a 2-page report, and it'll show us how to close people so you never worry about a presentation again. So the 5 trigger questions is when they meet us from scratch, this is what goes through their mind, and it usually happens, the first 4 questions will happen within the first 10 seconds usually. The first thing is when they meet somebody, they think, who are you? So if I gave a presentation or if Brad Pitt gave a presentation, would there be a difference in the question? Obviously, can be answered by saying, yeah. So if you happen to look at or talk to somebody and you look like their ex, I'm going to say it's pretty much over before you got very far in the presentation. If you look like somebody they had a good experience with in the past, they're going to say, yeah, I can do business with you. So the first question is, who are you? You don't have to worry about it because you are who you are. You can't change it over the next 10 seconds. So don't worry about it. Just realize that that's a determining question in their mind. So number 2 is the big question. Can I trust you and believe you? Because if I'm skeptical, I'm not going to believe anything you say. And you can sell your mascara for a penny, but if they don't trust you or believe you, it's never going to happen. So the big question in their mind is, can I trust you and believe you? Do you see the world the same way I do? And you usually handle this by a simple fact by saying, we're all busy moms. If they're a busy mom, they say, well, man, you and I think the same. We're joined at the hip, Vulcan, mind melt, blood brother, blood sister. We rock. So trust and belief can be established in a second or 2 or 3 seconds. It doesn't take long. Question number 3 in their mind is, are you interesting? So this is where icebreaker comes in, for those of you who read the book on icebreaker. The icebreaker has to be interesting, or else they're going to talk about something else. Just like an ordinary conversation, when your partner's talking about something pretty boring, you want to change the subject as quick as possible. So question number 3 is, are you interesting? And we're going to solve that by talking about them, who is the most interesting person in the world, and we're going to talk about their problem. Because our business and products solve a problem, and people aren't interested in solving their problem. So all of a sudden, we are the most interesting person in the world, or on the edge, just like this, waiting for our story. Number 4 is they're going to make an instant decision: do I want to do business with you or not? That's where the yes or no decision happens. And then finally, number 5 is, if the answer is yes, I want to do business with you, then you can give me the details. So that's when you actually tell them the name of the company, etc. So if Ashley was talking to me, I'd make them, my first decision is, Ashley, all right, she doesn't look like a serial killer. She looks semi-honest, close enough, okay. And my second question is, can I trust and believe her? Well, she's going to create rapport by talking to me, by saying, well, you know how we all want extra money for Christmas. And I'm thinking, yeah, you and I think the same. We want extra money for Christmas. Then step number 3, she's going to be interesting by saying, well, you know how we're all on Facebook all the time? And I'm thinking, yeah, well, I found out how we can make money while we're on Facebook. I go, oh, tell me more. Yeah, this is what I want. And decision number 4 is made automatically, which is yes. This sounds great. So decision number 4, as Jennifer just wrote in, is, do I want to do it or not? This is where the yes or no decision is made. And now all I need to know is a few details. If I'm a green, I want to know a lot of details. If I'm a blue personality, I don't want to know any details. I just want to get on with it. If I'm a red, just give me the bottom line so I can crush this. Simple as that. So read that little report. It'll show you how to manage these 5 little decisions in the first few seconds, so you'll be all set. Because decisions, I'll type this in here, are made in the first 10 or 15 seconds. So by the time you get around to giving a presentation, they've already made up their mind yes or no anyway, so you can relax about it. So what would you like to know next, Ashley?
I had, when you were talking about those, I was wondering if you could touch on, so you briefly went over the different color personalities, and I was wondering if you could, because I could see, like, for those of the team members who had a video on, you'd say a color and they'd be like, huh, yeah, like that's me. Could you talk to us and just give us a little bit more info about where the strengths are in each of these colors? And then to kind of further build on that, if you have time, I'd like to hear how to get certain colors moving, because I know for me, I have trouble getting my greens to move.
Motivating that we get into moving might be a little bit long for this one. It's a skill we should learn. But understanding them, how to recognize them is the important thing. It doesn't really matter what color you and I are. What matters is what color they are. And if you could look at it like, you know, they speak a foreign language. They speak Spanish, I speak English. So when I talk to them, if I know Spanish and English, let me talk in Spanish so they get it. So understanding their color, they have different languages, different things. So let's do this. Well, here's a short story. How's that? Let's talk about the yellow personalities. These are people that love to help other people. They're supportive. They're team players. They'll do anything for their team to help them out. They're awesome leaders. So all you would have to say to a yellow person to get them into action is, I need your help, H-E-L-P. That's it. So you say, I need your help. I need $120 more sales so I can hit this rank before midnight. And the yellow will say something like, don't worry about it, I got it. I'll take care of it. And for the yellow, this is the happiest moment in their life, because yellows live to feel happy when they help other people. So if you know a yellow personality, you say, well, yeah, that's just them. They love that. So the blue personality, these are the easiest to recognize because they're always talking. They talk in the morning. The moment they wake up in the morning, they even talk when they sleep at night. They talk and talk and talk. And their minds are just moving hundreds of miles an hour. They can't even afford to slow down to listen to us talk because it's just too slow for them. So the blue personalities, they are born to meet new people. If you're in an elevator, they'll just start telling you, hey, we drove to the hotel here yesterday with a family. We had this happen to us along the way. And you're thinking, I didn't ask this. I don't even know who you are. They'll just talk to anybody. But think about it. Network marketing is the perfect thing for them. Absolutely perfect. They're thinking, okay, I get to talk to new people and I get paid for it. How awesome is that? And they are really not in it that much for the money. It's all about, gosh, who can I meet? Where are we going? Road trip? Let's go on a road trip. A company convention, party, woohoo, I'm there. So to motivate them, you'd say, hey, we have this trip to Cancun coming up we can qualify for. I'm going to need a roommate. And they're going, woohoo, I'm in, I'm ready. What do I do? They're going to win the trip. They don't even care about the commissions. They just want to win the trip. Money's great, but the primary motivation is win the trip. The red personalities, they like recognition. They like being number one. If there's a rank higher than them, that's where they want to be. That's all they can think about. They like telling other people what to do. And they're bottom line people. It's all about the money. Show me the results. All the other chit chat is just totally wasted time. So for the reds, if I was to invite red to let's say you had a meeting in your area where somebody's going to come into town and explain the business, I'd say to the red, my invitation sounds something like this. We have a meeting tomorrow night. We're talking money, big money, huge money, massive amounts of money, not that little money from a job. No. But the big money from having your own business. Here's your chance to fire the boss, be your own boss, have your own organization, tell them what to do, and finally get the recognition you deserve and make the big bonus checks so you can buy that red Ferrari you always wanted and drive back to the company's parking lot where you used to work and leave rubber marks all up and down the company parking lot, roll down the window and say, goodbye, losers. And the reds would be in the front row. But of course, if you said that to a yellow personality, that yellow personality would be crying, oh, that's so cruel. So what we're doing is just talking in the language that they understand the business. And finally, the green personality, something to just point out, don't motivate them. Total waste of time. Greens will only do stuff after they figured it out, have all the answers in their mind, and then they'll start planning when they'll actually get into action. So for the greens, let them convince themselves. Give them all the websites and they'll get back to you. 3 months later, you'll get a call from them saying, yeah, I finally read it all through and I joined. I hacked into the company website, assigned myself a cool ID number. I gave myself 007. And I organized a party with my leads on my spreadsheet, and we did $1,346 in sales on my first party. They just get started when they have it all figured out. So you don't have to close them or push them or motivate them. They just wait till it's all figured out. So that's kind of an overview about who they are and how we kind of motivate them. So let's see. For everyone in here, you might be saying, I don't know what color I am. Trust me, all your friends do. Just ask them. There's a little test online where you can take. It's a 5-question test that'll kind of show you. And I'll try to, let me see if I can get the URL for you here really quick. And I'll put it in the notes here. So all the greens here can take the test. Killer quiz. Oh, that's pretty easy. I should have that memorized. Let me Okay, here's the link. You can go online and take the little 5-question test and have a little fun with it. So, Ashley, what would you like to know next?
Well, okay, there was someone who had a question before we started. Can we do a little Q&A for a couple minutes?
Yep.
Okay, so I know y'all have questions. So let's see. Who was the one who had the question? Can you just unmute yourself? Brittany, was it you? I saw somebody had a question. Nobody has questions, really? None of y'all have questions? Y'all are blowing up my inbox all day and nobody has questions.
That's pretty easy when you ask, what would you like to know next, and answer questions. People run out in a hurry. They're amateurs at this. We're pros and can't even think of what to ask.
I know.
So for everyone here, you should feel confident. There's only 10 or 12 questions they possibly can ask. Short answer, ask for the next one. And if you don't have an agenda, if you're not there trying to force them in, say, here's the answer, figure it out. It's your life. They're going to be relaxed. It's going to be the easiest way to present you've ever seen. And you'll be amazed at how little people want to know. Like to the blue personality, what do you like to know next? You said there's a trip. What day is it? January 2nd. Woohoo! All right, let's get started. That's all the blue would know. And that's all they would care. It is amazing. For us greens, we can't even imagine people thinking that way. But for the blues, they can't imagine greens wanting to have all that stupid data. All right, so we need to go out and talk to people. So remember, 3 questions. What would you like to know first? Totally relaxes them. What do you like to know next? Gets rid of what they want to know in their mind. And what would you like to do next? Which is the nicest way to close and just get to the point. It's easy. So Brittany asked, not sure what color I am. All right. So if you're not sure what color you are, let me explain. If you're yellow, you're probably saying, please tell me what color you want me to be. And if you're blue, you might be not even listening to anything I'm saying because you're going, hoo-hoo, you're already talking to people on 3 other windows. If you're a red, you already know what color you are. You're going to crush humanity. You're not listening to other people anyway. And if you're green, you're probably thinking, well, I don't have enough data and research to know for sure what color I might be. Again, don't worry what color you are. And if you're a rainbow of all 4 colors, well, that just means you have psychological problems. So split personality 4 ways.
It's funny that you say that we all kind of struggle with, like, I don't know which one I am. I don't know which one I am. Because for the longest time, I assure you, I was yellow, people. I was yellow. And my team is all rolling their eyes right now like, you're right.
Every red in the world thinks they're yellow, but we all know it's true. The reds are saying, I'm just helping these poor losers by telling them what to do.
Oh my gosh. That sounds so horrible. Does anyone else have any questions? Ash, do you have any questions? I know you had some at the beginning. Did we get those answered? Big Al, Ashley Nadler, who's on here, is one of our rock stars that I told you about, who thought she was yellow, but she's so red it's not even funny. Is everybody good? Thank you so much. So much. I really appreciate you doing this. And Big Al, could you do me a favor and message me your book link for all your books online? I have all of them. But I know that some of these girls haven't read or heard. We actually have some newbies here. So I want to make sure that they have your book link so I can get those to them.
All right, there it is in the chat, just bigalbooks.com.
All right, perfect.
And if you go there, there's about 20, I think there's 26 of the books are online.
Yeah, there's a lot. What and just one quick question, what are the top 3 that you would recommend starting out with? If you're like brand new, have never heard of, network marketing or the science behind it, like where would you recommend starting?
Book number one is on the color personalities. It's the coolest skill in the world to learn. You'll laugh till milk shoots out your nose. And you'll be messing with people for the rest of your life because you'll understand what color they are, what motivates them, how to work with them. You can't even go with a mall without thinking this person's a yellow or blue. So please get that one. It'll change your life no matter what. The second book would be Icebreakers. Because we always say, well, I'm in line at the bank. What do I say to this person? I just don't know. Icebreakers is how you can say stuff so you're so interesting they beg you for a presentation. And then if you really wanted to step up your game and be pro, you might want to do pre-closing. But the one I'd probably recommend to the group here is there's a book called How to Do Your Network Marketing Business in 15 Minutes a Day. And the reason I'd say that is women are busy. Not as busy as men because by the time we get home from work, we got to watch TV for 6 or 7 hours. It leaves us very little time to do anything. We are just so time constrained. But how do you do your business in 15 minutes a day? Let me type that in here. You only have to read the first half of the book because that shows you how to do it. And it's just a couple of things. You say these cool words, it's done. Say these cool words, it's done. Say these cool words, it's done. So how to build your business in 15 minutes a day. The first half of the book covers that. The second half of the book is nothing but little 1 and 2 sentences, things you can say to plant seeds in people's minds. So tomorrow, next week, or next month, they're ready to join your business. So you only have to read half the book. That's how quick it is. And all the books are on audio. You can download them as an ebook. I think they're $4.99 long-term financing from Amazon. And I think Amazon has a audio version of all the books for either $5.99 or $6, something like that. So for $10, you can have Starbucks and a Big Al book and make yourself a lot of money and have a pretty good time. But I would start with colors. It just rocks. It's the easiest skill to learn. It's so much fun. You're going to use it forever. And all of a sudden, all your stress about talking to people goes away. And that is amazing for us screens because we are stressed when we have to talk to people. So, LASHley, what would you like to do next?
I think I am good, unless does anyone else have any other questions? Anybody else? Nobody? Big Al, watch. Nobody's going to have questions right now because everybody's afraid to unmute themselves and talk. But in about 20 minutes, my inbox is going to start going ding, ding.
What about party scripting?
Party script?
Like you went over the sponsoring portion, but yeah, party scripting I feel for me is harder than sponsoring.
I don't know. Well, you might have a whole bunch of people at the party, right? And they might all be different colors. You think, oh, where do I go with this? Or how would it be interesting to all of them? So I'm a green person, so of course I would never be at a party. So is this an online party or an in-person party?
Yes. I mean, like trying to get an online party. Trying to see if we can convince them to have an actual party so you can market to new people.
Well, let's talk to the yellow. What are we going to say to the yellow? We're going to say, I know you're going to love these cosmetics because it's going to save you a lot of time in the morning, so you have more time to help get your kids ready for school. You don't have to worry about it. I'm sure you have many other friends with that same problem that just needs that extra time in the morning. So could I ask you a favor? Oh. Could you get 4 or 5 of your friends on and we can do an online party for them and save them a whole lot of time, and they'll appreciate it so much because you helped them. And oh, yes. That'll be pretty easy. To the blue, gee, what are we going to say to the blue? Say, man, you like talking to people? We'll do an online party. It's going to be so much fun. We'll do it on Zoom. We can all talk at the same time. It'll be amazing. I'll show you. What are you going to say to the red about an online party? It says, hey, You're a busy mom. You're a career lady. You don't have time to mess around. You don't need to go to somebody's house for a party. We can do this all in 7 minutes online. I can show you a demonstration. I'll blow your socks off, and you can, oh, okay. And to the green, just use the word efficient a lot, right? So I'll say, I know you have a lot of questions about the skincare and the cosmetics and how they work and all. Let's do an online workshop. And I can show you and your friends and answer your most important questions there, and you won't even have to leave your home. So it's going to save you a lot of time. And the green said, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Why not? So if we know their colors, wow, it's going to be pretty easy to invite them or you make them to be a party host.
Go ahead, Jen. Sorry.
So my next question is, yes, that's wonderful about the colors, but how do you go about finding out in Messenger what color they are if you don't know them?
Okay. I'll give you 3 questions. But usually you can tell by the language you're using in Messenger. So if they start asking you about the ingredients, figure that one out, right? And if they keep saying, oh, you go first, oh, figure that one out. Or they just say, just get to the point, figure that one out. Or if they're sending you 500 emojis and links to YouTube videos, all of a sudden it becomes obvious. But the 3 questions I use is, what do you do for a living? Now that could be inaccurate because they may have had to take a job that's not their color. But if they say, I'm a nuclear physicist working on the tensile strength of bridge girders, you have a pretty good idea. Okay, they're green, right? I ask them, what do they like to do in their free time? And that's a whole lot more accurate because what people like to do in their free time is something they choose. So what do you like to do in your free time? And they say, oh, I make woolen ashtrays for homeless people. All right, we figured that one out. Or they say, I don't need any stinking free time. I'm busy working on my career. Well, all right, we figured that one out too. They're red. Or I'm busy. I haven't read the internet for the 2nd time yet. All right, they're green. And the 3rd one is, how do you feel about, your hobby or your career? And people expose their feelings. So the example I like to use, I'm at a party. I talk to a lady. What do you do for a living? I'm a kindergarten school teacher. And then I ask, so why, or how do you feel about being a kindergarten school teacher? Well, as you know, the children are really small, and you can rule with an iron fist, give them the discipline they deserve, and tell them what to do. All right, so they're red. So in Messenger, you can ask a question like that, but usually you can pick up by how they're talking to you in Messenger. And if you're talking to them in Messenger, if I can make a suggestion, there's a thing called 6 levels of communication. We'll talk about it another time, but Messenger is probably the hardest thing to do because it's one-way communication. There's no tone of voice. So we'll, in time, learn how to get people on the phone more, where it's a lot easier, especially on a video phone where you can see them. But our time is pretty much up, so I'm going to have to leave you all go. I have to do a call here at 10 your time. But here's what we're going to do.
So much.
We're going to start noticing what color people are. If you want to make this a life skill, go online and get the book. Take that test anyway to find out what color people think you are. It may not be who you are, but what you appear to be to other people, which is kind of important. Download that report on how to close people, because if you can't close people, it's going to be a pretty unpaid career. And if you know how to close people, you'll never be afraid of a presentation. And you shouldn't be, because we've covered the 21 words, which is, what would you like to know first? What would you like to know next, over and over till they run out of questions? And finally, what would you like to do next? So we've covered a lot in the hour, but this alone should put you ahead of about 99% of the people in network marketing who waste all their time because they don't know how to say, here is the short story. So back to you, Ashley.
Thank you so much, Big Al. I really appreciate you doing this for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This was amazing.
So see everybody, and have fun, download the stuff, and we'll rock from there.
I
Talk to
will.
y'all later.
Soon.
Thanks for
Bye.
inviting me, Ashley. Bye-bye.